I booked 26 calls in 7 days for my SMA by leveraging one thing that everyone seems to be missing. When I first started SMA, I found it impossible to book calls, no matter what script I used, no matter what VSL I was using, no matter what sort of winning offer the guru told me to use. Nothing seemed to work. I looked at myself as like a peak agency. I was all built out. I was mastered by the gurus, the best offer, the best niche, the best script. Absolutely everything was optimized to as good as it could be, but I still just couldn't book calls. I reckon a lot of you watching are having this problem too. The most people that I speak to, they're like, oh, I just can't book calls. That's their main problem. And they're always asking me the wrong questions. They're like, oh, what script do I use? Oh, maybe it's my script. Maybe it's my VSL. Maybe that's wrong. How do I change that? And for that reason, I already know that they're failing on the forefront, because when you get further on in your journey, you understand that your outreach message is like 20%, your VSL is like 5%. They don't really mean as much as you think. And there's one key attribute that makes up your whole SMA. And it's the reason I was able to put 26 calls in 7 days. So you're probably wondering how I did this. You're probably waiting me to drop the winning script and drop the winning sort of niche that you should go into. But it's completely opposite to that. What I did is I launched an offer which the market actually needed. Sounds hard, doesn't it? No, I didn't send thousands of outreach. I didn't even really send that many. It was probably like 200-300. It really wasn't that many for how many calls we booked. I didn't run ads to the offer. It wasn't like a low ticket offer that's like, or a stupid offer. It's like 100 appointments booked, and it wasn't like $200. It's $1,500 for a very good sort of offer that wasn't like appointments booked and stuff like that. What I didn't do is I didn't go onto YouTube and I didn't look up the best niche, the best offer, the best script, and instead I sat and I actually started to work out problems for myself. So the first thing I did is I sat down and I was like, what niches are having the most problems at the moment? And because a lot of people getting into short form content at the moment, I looked at that niche and I was like, okay, so what are they struggling with the most? And I saw that they were really struggling with service delivery on the quality of short that they were editing. And now when I saw this, I was like, okay, that's a really big pain point that they need to solve instantly. And the more pain that they're obviously having from it, they will do more to alleviate it. So I sat and I thought for a few days. I didn't go on YouTube and look up the best offer and stuff like that. I wasn't trying to frantically search where everyone else is going and follow the sheep, right? What I did, I just sat. I sat and I thought, I was like, okay, so how can I actually alleviate the pain for them? What I came to in the end, I was like, okay, so if I can sort of have a VA sort of placement, but instead of a VA, I have an editor placement who I train, I get in my system, I train them and they do like $6 per reel because everyone was still charging too much. The quality was too low. So they were having two like big double whammies at the same time, which I needed to solve. So I was like, okay, so how do I solve this? So I started to put together my system. I started to see like, okay, does this actually work? Can I actually do this? I got systems in place. I started to train the editors. I was like, okay, so I'm quite ready for this. So I started doing some outreach. I started to see like, okay, who wants this? And in the exact same day that it launched, we got 26 booked call in 7 days with all qualified leads doing short form content with clients, actually trying to scale their agency without doing any fancy stuff. All I had to do was sit and think for myself and offer something that the market actually wanted, the niche was actually struggling with, instead of picking a service or picking a niche and trying to ram something down their throat. Now, it sounds very simple, right? And that is because it is very simple. It's literally just a VA placement, but I just thought outside the box for 1 second compared to everyone else and switched it for something that people actually needed. Now, if I saw like a certain pain point in a niche and they needed like a lead sourcer, then I'd go and offer that. It's just about picking what they need and then offering what the service actually is. You copying everyone else and not sitting down for like 10 seconds because you're so spurky and you need the answers now, you need the best scripts and stuff like that. It's the reason you'll be actually being held back, because you offer no real value. People are out there with pain. People are out there with pain that needs to be solved. What you're pretty much doing is going to someone with a broken leg with no experience of like how to fix a broken leg and trying to fix their arm. Okay, trying to fix a broken arm which isn't broken. That's what you're practically doing at the moment. And this is why you're not booking calls, not because of anything else. It's because your offer has no reason to actually be in the market it's in, because they don't need it. You're just trying to make them need it. Now, what can you do to book 26 calls in 7 days? Step one is stop watching the gurus at a certain point. If you're sort of a bit further on SMA, so I'd say like 6 or 12 months, you know pretty much most things about SMA. I'd stop watching the gurus and actually start doing the research for yourself. Start like thinking for yourself and be like, okay, so what niche is actually struggling with pains? What could I offer? Okay, let me actually build out a good service delivery instead of keep watching and watching and watching, trying to find the best scripts and stuff like this when it doesn't actually matter. I reckon some of you will actually copy this, and I'm quite excited to see a bunch of people like follow this, because this is like the opposite of what I'm trying to tell you to do. But people will still, like, because they're sheep, carry on with this offer and be like, oh yeah, that sounds really good, let me try that. And I can't wait to see it, because they just don't know the systems behind it. You can pick any offer they want, because I've pretty much gone to most short form content agencies. I'm still scaling it quite heavy, and I'm probably the person that they'd go to rather than you, because you're just trying to quickly do it, trying to quickly make some money. You're not really thinking about this like a long-term business, so you're not going to really be able to compete. So I'm really excited to see a bunch of people try and copy it, because they just don't think for themselves. Thomas Gannett literally made a video the other day where he was like, oh yeah, I've literally had to change my whole offer because everyone's copying. And that's literally the point that I'm trying to get across, is you're just copying. You are if you look about, you are a sheep. You're doing what everyone else is doing with no difference, except that you're a different person, which no one cares about. No one cares about you. No one cares about anything about that. They just want their pain to be solved. Can you do that? Clearly not. The whole point of this was to show you how simple SMA is and how much you're overcomplicating it, or how just lazy you're being, like just like not really looking for yourself. But it's just the simplest business model ever, and that's why I got into it in the first place, and that's why probably a lot of people did. But just because it's simple doesn't mean that you can copy, doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. It's simple because it's going from A, B, C, D, E, just step by step by step. You don't have to do all these crazy stuff. It's very simple to do, but you still just can't look for yourself and find your own niche and find an offer that actually suits the niche. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you go away and look at what you're actually offering and be like, wait, why does it? No one needs this. Why am I offering this? I'm such an idiot, right? And sort of change it and see what you can do some market research and be like, okay, so what niche is actually struggling? How can I help? Yeah, hopefully this helped. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.